Get ready for today's story. We explained mysteries of the world.
Evidence in a typical cold case usually disappears over years of silence, but a small subset of disappearances only grow more unsettling as they age, leaving behind facts that refuse to align with the physical world. In 1991, 63-year-old Vasile Gorgos lived on a quiet farm in rural Romania. One morning, he fed his cattle and walked to the train station for a routine business trip. He told his family he'd be back in a day or two. He never boarded his return train. The police search yielded no leads, no sightings, and no evidence of foul play. As decades passed, his family eventually accepted his death, holding yearly memorial services in his honor. Then, in August 2021, a mysterious car pulled up to his family's old home. Before anyone could record the license plate, an elderly man was pushed out of the passenger door, and the vehicle sped off. The man standing there was Vasile Gorgos. He was now 93 years old. When his stunned family rushed outside, they found Vasile wearing the exact same clothes he had on the morning he disappeared in 1991. Inside his pocket, they discovered his original train ticket. The paper and his clothing were in near-perfect condition. Doctors found him in good health, but his memory of the last 3 decades was gone. Vasile insisted he had been at home the entire time. His memories were clear right up until 1991, but for him, the last 30 years simply didn't happen. The case suggests a physical impossibility, a man who aged 3 decades while his material surroundings remained suspended in the moment he left. While Vasile's story involves a single man out of sync with time, entire communities have been known to abandon their physical reality overnight. A short distance from the modern skyline of Dubai sits Al Madam. This village is currently being buried by the desert, with dunes reclaiming the streets and pouring through the open doors of empty homes. A British journalist named Joseph visited the site seeking the history behind the town's sudden abandonment. He found a landscape of silence, where every building appeared to have been vacated in a state of high alarm. Among the ruins, Joseph encountered a 19-year-old boy named Saeed. Saeed claimed he lived nearby and visited the ghost town often to water his camels, but he spoke of the village with a strange first-hand familiarity. Saeed described Al Madam as a location defined by a dark, active presence. He spoke of the town as a place that had effectively trapped its residents, holding on to a history that was far from over. Saeed recounted the 1970s, when the government built these homes for Bedouin families. At first, the transition from tents to permanent housing was celebrated as a major improvement in their quality of life. The mood shifted as the women of the village began reporting the sensation of being watched by unseen figures. This paranoia grew as residents discovered unexplained physical marks and bruises appearing on their bodies after a night's sleep. These reports soon became visual. Villagers described shadow entities standing 11 feet tall, lurking behind the walls of their bedrooms. These figures were said to emit a heavy scent of perfume that lingered long after they vanished. Sudden, unexplained deaths eventually triggered a mass exodus. During a series of intense sandstorms, the families gathered what they could and fled, leaving the village to be buried by the dunes. The abandonment of Al Madam stands as a total surrender of human territory. The residents chose the uncertainty of the desert over remaining in a town that had become hostile to their presence. Joseph concluded his interview with Saeed and walked back to a waiting taxi, feeling he had secured a powerful story about the town's local folklore. During the drive, Joseph shared the details of the 1970s haunting with his driver, mentioning the young boy who provided a vivid, first-hand account of the village's final days. The driver stopped him, pointing to a logical impossibility. As this timeline shows, the events in Al Madam took place 50 years ago. A boy who witnessed them would be an old man today. Joseph turned to look out the rear window. The village was already receding into the dust, and he realized he had spent the afternoon interviewing a 19-year-old ghost. These cases share a chilling commonality. They center on events where physical evidence and linear time cannot account for the people involved. For more investigations into mysteries that defy explanation, subscribe to Saksham Gairola. Thanks for watching.